if anybody saw that movie Joker. It was really intense, but Arthur Fleck is there. He's beaten down by Gotham City. He's just beat down to nothing. He's poor. He's got mental health issues. He's just debilitated. And then you just see the city beating him down, just reducing him to nothing. And then he finally snaps, and he decides he's going to get his vengeance. And he's going to take out his revenge, not just on one person. He's taking his revenge on all the billionaires. He leads an uprising in Gotham City, and they just start taking down everyone, taking down anyone who stands in their way. Okay, that's what Arthur Fleck does. Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix, becomes the Joker. Well, what's kind of surprising, the day before my dad's funeral, I met Joaquin Phoenix. And it was literally the day before my dad's funeral. My dad had just died. I had worked at this restaurant group previously, and the day before the funeral, we wanted the kids to go swimming. And I go to the coffee shop across the street, and my old boss sees me and goes, "Jesse, I'm so sad about your dad. By the way, do you realize that guy you were standing with, waiting for the coffee shop to open, is Joaquin Phoenix?" And I go, "Whoa, that's crazy. That's my dad's favorite actor." I'm like, that was literally, bar none, my dad's favorite actor. So I talked to him. I said, "Hey, Joaquin, I just wanted to say hi to you real fast. My dad just died. His funeral's tomorrow. You were his favorite actor." He goes, "Oh my gosh, did he die suddenly?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, he got pancreatic cancer. He died 11 months later." He goes, "Oh my gosh, my dad died of cancer. My dad died of cancer 10 years ago. I can still remember the phone call." I go, "Man, Joaquin, but he loved you since Gladiator. He loved you since Signs. He just knew you were going to the top of the stratosphere. He just watched your career all the way back in the 2000s. And Joaquin's blown away. I'd also shared with him my dad's story of coming to Christ, that my dad had experimented with tons of drugs, that he'd hitchhiked around the United States, that his mom had died of brain cancer, that his stepdad was murdered by his business partner. That's all a true story. My dad had come to Christ, and Joaquin was blown away by that story. Okay? Then I shake his hand, I leave. Hours later, we go back to the pool, and we're at the pool, and he's in the gym working out, but we just leave him alone. We don't want to bother him. Just totally leaving him alone. And I'm there with my son, Lion, and all my siblings. We're just leaving him alone. My son has to go to the bathroom, so I'm taking my son to the bathroom. Well, as I'm walking, I just hear somebody going, "Jesse, Jesse, Jesse." And I turn around, and Joaquin Phoenix is chasing me down. And you would think I'm lying if I didn't have a photo to prove it. That is the actual photo of me shirtless at the pool. Joaquin Phoenix chased me down. And, he goes, "Hey, man, actually, I want to take a photo with you. Your dad's story really touched me. My dad died of cancer." And we get talking about, "Man, I was thinking about more movies you're in, like Johnny Cash." And I was like, "Hey, we're all followers of Jesus." And there's a line in Johnny Cash where you're about to go play Folsom Prison, and your producer goes, "Your listeners are good Christian folk. They don't want you singing to no murderers and rapists and thieves." And you go, "Then they ain't no Christians." And Joaquin laughed so hard, and I was like, "Yeah, man, we just believe in Jesus. We believe in his grace. My dad believed in that, and I just want to play God's greatest grace over you." So anyways, we go and take that photo. Now I'm going to tell you why that was really significant. Okay, and this is where it gets heavy, connects with last week's message, is that when I was a little kid, a family friend who deceived our family, manipulated our family, betrayed our family, sexually abused me in a severe and brutal way. And I still, deal with the trauma and the ramifications of that on a daily basis. And it's actually probably affected, certain things I've said in certain sermons about how I understand the idea of being a victim, how I understand the concept of justice in a unique way. But I was sexually abused. My dad believed the gospel, held me in his arms, told me God was going to make my story into a Joseph story, that God was going to save people through my suffering, and that God had a purpose and a plan, and he told me I was like a superhero. Well, when I was little, just a year or two after that, I was obsessed with Batman. Absolutely obsessed with Batman, okay? But here's the deal. As I got older, I wanted to be like Batman getting revenge. Bruce Wayne wanted revenge for his parents' murders. I told my best friend my only purpose in life was to find the man who raped me and murder him. I told him that was my only purpose in life. But here's the thing. When you allow bitterness to fester in your heart, it twists you, and you don't become like Batman. You become like Arthur Fleck. You become like the Joker. It twists you and it sours you. And you start to feel entitled to things with people. And you go into other relationships and it taints those relationships. And that person who stole something from your past starts to steal something from your present and from your future. And it brings this horrible anger and this fury and this fuming rage like Jonah. And it sours all of your relationships. Okay? But as I began to understand the gospel, and as I began to understand Jesus, he began to heal me of that. And he began to bring forgiveness into my life and bring joy and peace into my life. And here's what I think is really significant. My dad told me I was like a superhero. The day before his funeral, I got to share the gospel with the Joker. And then at his funeral, I stood on stage with thousands of people watching, and I said the name of my abuser, and I said, I forgive you. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no justice. It's just, here's the thing, is that forgiveness allows you to seek justice without it spiraling out of control into vengeance. Forgiveness sets you free to really have a heart that wants forgiveness, not just one that goes crazy and wants the whole city to burn like the Joker. And that's what God's grace, that's what the gospel did in my life, and I think it was pretty profound that God allowed that to happen the day before my dad's funeral.